Hey everybody, Karyn Bryant here. Today, kicking back with me, I've got Marcus McGhee, victorious again, and now you've got a number next to your name after UFC 309. So congratulations to you on that. How good does that feel?
Thank you, thank you. It feels good. Yeah, it feels good. Also lets me know that the work is not done. So that's always the underlying feeling. But yeah, definitely thankful.
So when you say the work isn't done, obviously, I want to know what your goals are. What do you want to achieve in the UFC?
Just to take it as far as I can, just to find out how good I am. How deep my skill bag goes, and how what level I can compete on. With every little level that I get, lets me know that I can get a little higher. So that's always my mind state.
Yeah, it's so I remember like when you got a short notice entrance into the UFC, right? But it was one of those things where when you were fighting, all of us were like, yeah, but we know this dude. Like we know him. Like he's here all the time. Like we know this dude. And so it was cool to see you actually get in there and then throw down. So how long had you been trying to get into the UFC before you actually did?
I was always trying. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
I didn't start my pro career until 2020, right before
Hmm.
COVID happened. And I had been around the U, and there's like 2 years I didn't fight for, basically, mostly because the world was shut down
Yeah.
essentially, and my record was so low that even if I had an opportunity to try to jump into any of those fights, I wouldn't have been able to because I was 1-0. So
Hmm.
basically, just trained alongside Casey Kenny and Kyle Phillips and Mario Batista and all those guys for 2 years with no fight. And then finally, once I was able to get going, I was just taking as many fights as I
Hmm.
could, trying to fight anybody that I could. And I planned on trying to get in, as soon as I could. And it just ended up working out how it did.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. So you're undefeated in the UFC now, which is awesome. How it's different for everybody, I guess, but at the same time, I feel like everybody collectively has that dream of walking out at Madison Square Garden. So what was that like for you on Saturday?
It was pretty surreal, because honestly, I know everybody's had the dream of that, but like, I guess my mindset still isn't even at that point now. Even though I'm in
Hmm.
the UFC, I never really imagined myself being a professional MMA fighter or fighter, period. I always was into martial arts and fighting, but when I think that I would have been able to achieve things in this space, I never did. So like, doing it now and making these type of memories and being blessed to be able to do these type of things, I get to take it in a little bit more because it wasn't the plan.
Hmm.
It's somebody else's plan, and he's got a good plan. And I'm just happy to be along for the ride.
So what was the plan then?
To do whatever I could. I was just trying to. I love martial arts. So
Yeah.
I just didn't. It's something that no matter what, at the end of the day, I always told myself it wasn't going to be about whether or not I made it in the UFC. It wasn't going to be
Hmm.
about how great my career was. It was going to be the fact that when I looked back, I was going to say that I gave everything I could to this thing called martial arts. And I
Hmm.
built the discipline in it, and I turned it into being a part of my life. And that's kind of where my mind was for the longest time. I really wasn't focused on tangible things. And that kind of was like my motto, and it still kind of is. I know I have to keep things going and build from what I'm doing, but I just try to take in every day and get better every day and do that, and then take that and add that to the rest of my life as a
Hmm.
father, as a husband, brother, uncle, cousin, all those things.
Nice. I love it. Well, you've got four kids, right?
4 kids, yep.
Oh my goodness. So that yeah, so those bonuses because you've gotten some bonuses, right? That definitely helps, huh?
Yeah. Oh no, it definitely helped. It definitely helped. I'm super thankful and blessed for it too because yeah, I got 4 kids, a wife. I already, the house, the cars, all that stuff was already a part of my life, long before I even got into the UFC. I was a working guy trying to make ends meet, and take care of my family. So to be able to do it now, doing what I love to do, anyways, is extremely. I mean, that's more surreal and more of a blessing than the Madison Square Garden thing for me. That was part of the plan. That
Yeah.
I thought more about that than anything.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that. So let's actually get into this fight though, because how's your leg? How are your legs? I mean, that's the question everybody's wondering, right?
Yeah, no, they're good. No, especially the right one's the one that got beat up the most, but
Yeah.
it's good. You know what I'm saying? I just took really there was 2 good kicks that he landed. The other ones I checked a couple in the first round. I checked a couple toward in the middle of the second round. They were all good, but there was 2 ones in particular that he landed on the same spot, and those are the ones that are still lingering. Uh, but that being said, it's good. I just got back into town. I was in New York for 2 days with my wife,
Yeah.
so walking around and not taking care of it like I probably should have probably didn't help much, but I'm back home now, so I'm sure within the next couple days it'll be back to functioning.
Yeah, I'm just imagining you walking around with like compression things on and different stuff, trying to walk around Manhattan and trying to just suck it up and not feel it, but like, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yep.
It was
That's basically how it went.
well, because it was brutal because those are the kind of things too, like just everybody watching, like you feel that, like we all just kind of, you just kind of can't help but recoil when you even watch that. So how much of it, like, if you could take us into your inner monologue for a minute there during that fight, were you sort of like, okay, Marcus, you can only hang a couple more of those, and then we're gonna have to figure out a new plan because they're considerable, and we know his history with leg kicks, and he can shut people down.
Yeah, exactly that. I definitely had that moment for sure. There was a moment I was like, yeah, we can't take any more of those. Like there was because there was moments where like, oh, I can take those. I can take
Yeah,
that. And then there was a moment where it was like, nope, that was it. That was the last one. Like you can't take another one of those because if you take it, whether or not you want to stand up or not, you're a
yeah,
human being. Your leg does not function when it gets hit like that. So,
yeah.
I knew that wasn't toughing it out wasn't an option. Like there's a certain amount of damage that you can't take. And Jonathan does throw those kicks at a whole different level than other people. So much so that he relies on that tool extensively.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back to the fight and you look at the fight, that was his main goal the whole and we knew it was to try to
Yeah.
bang that left kick. It hinders other tools though. But man, if he lands a couple good ones, he can change the scheme of the fight. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
that way with my hands a lot of times. Same thing with my kicks. Honestly, I feel like I didn't get off like I wanted to get off either. Like
Mm-hmm.
in hindsight of the whole thing, I feel like I was a little bit I wasn't as free as I normally am. I was a little bit more cautious, if I had to say, more
Mm-hmm.
cautious than I like to fight. And even though I was happy to be in there and I was enjoying myself, there's a lot of things that I didn't do that are in my arsenal
Mm-hmm.
that I had to take note of.
Well, you can make those adjustments next time, and you can, I guess, now you can figure out, was it the opponent that was keeping you from getting those things off, or was it yourself keeping
Yeah,
you? Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So one thing that I folks should know about you, when you're not fighting, you're cooking. Well, first you're smoking, and then you're cooking, which is kind of ideal, Marcus. You know what I mean? It's kind of
Yeah.
the way things should flow. So let people know it's about your YouTube show, Munchies with Marcus, or Marcus. Yeah, right.
Munchies with Marcus. Yep, Munchies with Marcus. So it's a cooking show that me and some of my buddies had come up with, and we were like, man, let's start a cooking show. It's a way for you to get out there with some of your fans, and it's something you enjoy doing, which is cooking. But we talked about, I was like, man, it can't just be any cooking show. Like I consider myself a halfway funny guy, like, and
Yeah,
I always loved skits. Like Dave Chappelle used to always have
yeah,
these skits, and I
yep.
used to love his skits. So yeah, that's my mentality on that. I was like, man, we'll just start it off with a skit. That's gonna be our key. Like we start it up with a funny skit, come up with different skits, and then we'll
Uh-huh.
get into good meals. So it's been something I've really been enjoying doing, and I look forward to doing more of it for sure. And like, yeah, again, like smoking right before you get ready to throw down some good food. Yeah, you can't beat that.
Yeah. No, it's really great, and I agree with you. Like with Chappelle, like we still think of like when keeping it real goes wrong. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like you'll I'll never forget that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep,
Oh
100%. And
God.
then what else is like that? There's not too much that's like, when you think that it's like, oh, it kind of stands on its own, and
Right.
then you could figure things out, but it's like, nah, it's the Chappelle show.
Right. Literally the other day, because I forget where I was, and I heard like a John Mayer song. Remember this skit where he did where like how the white people respond to John Mayer and the guitar, and I'm dying, like I'm literally just dying laughing in my head because I just was picturing that skit, and it's so funny and ridiculous. And how many years ago was that? It's still
Yeah,
funny.
exactly.
Oh
Over at least
God.
15, right? At least 15
Yeah.
years old. Like, geez, it's
Oh, then
crazy.
he goes to the barber shop with the like the African drums, and everybody's like, "Yeah!" But they go in with John Mayer, goes into the barber shop, and everybody's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
It's
yep,
so
yep. Classic, classic.
it's good stuff. Okay, so you have the number next to your name now. You're number 13 or 14, is it? Right, number 14.
Yep.
So I believe you made a call out in the post fight press conference, but like, who do you want? What do you want? And when you talk about testing yourself and seeing how good you can become, who are the people who are going to bring it out in you?
Yeah, I think anybody above me is going to bring it out of me for sure. And then I'm honestly look the guys below me, I will bring it out of me too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like in all reality, for me, it's just looking at what the UFC wants to do. I don't really have a hit list or anything like that. I when in the post fight comment I made was, hey, I bet the UFC would have me fight Jose Aldo because of everything that happened with Jose and Mario, my teammate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was my comment, and they kind of took that as, oh, he's calling for Jose Aldo. But I'm like, no, I'm not necessarily calling for him either. They
Yeah.
pushed Eamon Zahibi ahead of me.
Yeah.
I like me and him were matched up to fight, and then that whole thing got scratched. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was a name that they threw out at me. I've been hearing all different types of crazy names, like, oh, maybe you want to get revenge for Rob Font. Like, no, no, like, no revenge, no, there's nothing behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Yeah.
pretty game to fight all of these guys. I said it a long time ago, like, I plan to fight all these guys. If I keep winning, right, that's the plan, to
Right.
fight all these guys, and I have no malice toward any of them. But I'm getting better, and I want to compete against all of them. I mean, Jose Aldo is a legend. Rob Font's been top of the game for forever.
Yep.
Eamon's I've been at TriStar. Head coaches are crazy. Like, like each one of them have their own storylines and great things about it. And every
Mhm.
single one of those fighters is a dangerous fight. So who knows what's going to be in it for me? I feel like there's so much because when I was getting up here, I was like, man, I'm going to fight this guy, and now it's going to be like less people for me to fight. I'm only going to have to fight everybody in the top 15 now, and it's like
Yeah.
now that we're here, it's like, okay, well, they're going to figure it out pretty quickly. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have a name pretty quickly, and what they would like to see. So I'm sure I'll be getting matched up.
Yeah, there's a lot of great opportunities, and all those names you just listed, I'm like, I'd watch that. I would watch that. I would watch that. I would watch that. I would watch that. It's the great thing about having a division with so much talent. So,
Exactly, exactly. And
yeah,
then I'm just inserting myself into it. I do think that people want to see me fight whoever. They just want to see
yeah,
me fight, see if I am going to get better or if I am going to get worse, if I am hype, if I'm not, they just want,
right, right.
some people want to see me rise, some people want to see me fall, it's like the suspense is real.
Yeah. I love, no, you're 100% right. Okay, so before I let you go, then, are you cooking Thanksgiving dinner? How do you feel about Thanksgiving dinner? Because and again, yeah, I spend a lot of time by myself, Marcus. So I was laughing the other day thinking about that thing where the old black grandmas, they go, you don't experiment on Thanksgiving. You
Yeah.
don't experiment on Thanksgiving. You put the raisins in the mac and cheese, you're going to clean it up yourself. So I love that. It's hilarious because I love cooking for Thanksgiving, and I actually love to cook myself. And it's my favorite meal to cook. And I'm literally one of those people that's like, back up out of my kitchen, just keep my wine full and like leave me alone. But what do you like? Are you cooking? I assume you are, right?
Yes, yes. So I'm going to be cooking this year for sure. I already talked to the family. So I'll be making macaroni and cheese for sure. That's one of the things that I make. My wife's been making greens. She's been doing a good job of that lately.
Good.
But I'll make the mac and cheese. Honestly, I've been really digging like different type of pumpkin stuff. So I'm gonna try pumpkin pie this year. I know how to cook. I just don't, pumpkin is not usually what I do when I come to pie.
Yeah.
But I want to try some pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie. So I'm gonna do one of each of those.
Nice.
And then also I'm gonna fry turkey. So I wanted to do it last year too. I did it the year before and it was really good.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it last year because I was like, man, I might be fighting this, that, and the third. I only get one plate. I didn't want to be near food, so I'll definitely be making those items for sure. But I'm sure we'll add to it. But those items are getting made for sure.
Nice. Just be careful since you've done it before, because people mess up when they fry the turkey and they forget about the cavity and the oil rushing in, or they don't measure it out. Like they don't measure the oil with the turkey in the pot and how much is going to get displaced. And, fire and yeah. Oof.
Yeah, I made those mistakes long ago. I'm I've veteraned myself up. So yeah, we'll make sure that all that is taken care of and the oil is set like it's supposed to be. And
Nice.
yeah, but I absolutely have made that mistake. So I guess you have to make mistakes to figure it out.
Right. I love it. Well, good luck to you. It all sounds delicious, and just, yeah, congratulations on another win. You know what, you got here when you got here, and you're making the most of your time, and I love it. I think it's great, and it's fun to watch. You're fun to watch all the time, and it's just really great to see you doing your thing. So congrats, and thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I just gotta say too, I don't know if you remember, I met you the first time I met you was in Dubai, I believe. I met you in Dubai. Was I'm almost positive that's what it is. Were you in Dubai when we were during COVID?
Yeah, I was on Fight Island. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Fight
yeah,
Island. So I met
yeah.
you back then. I also met Angela Hill. I was only one to know as a pro at that time, but I was with Kyler and I met you guys there. So
Yes.
it is absolutely surreal to turn back now and know that when I first met you, I was only a one to know pro,
Right.
and now we're in the top 15, talking to who other than you.
Oh.
So it's I thank you for bringing me on.
Yeah, I love it. I'm happy to see you here, and just keep doing your thing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Marcus, we'll see you soon.
All right, bye.